A lot has happened within the week. Nollywood lost one of its actors, popularly known as Junior Pope. These and many more will bring to you on Weekend Review. I am Lydia Odada. Court arraigns Ganduje, the former governor of Kano State. Recall that Ganduje was seen in a video stashing cash into his agbada. How could he not have known that he was being videoed? This will also affect his position as the national chairman of the APC. Recall that the current governor of Kano State has pointed fingers to say, we will not allow politicians to continue in corruption. How this whole scenario will play out and affect Ganduje, we do not know, but for sure, we will find out on the 17th of April. Will Ganduje be going to jail? Until then, Discos sanctioned for ineffective power supply. Recall that the electricity tariff hike did not sit well with Nigerians. However, to even worsen the pain of Nigerians, there has been low power supply despite the hike in tariff. Well, the federal government has said, Discos, you won't keep doing this, which I think is a good move because there are areas where there is no power supply and they're running on estimated bills and the bills are just ridiculous. Anyways, let's watch and see how Discos will wriggle their way out of this. EFCC recovers 30 billion naira from 50 accounts linked to one person. How did that even happen? One person, 50 accounts. Was it being run by proxy? I'm thinking you want to know who. The former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. Apparently, she was alleviating herself from poverty, not for the citizens, which the funds were meant for. How can you explain that? How will this go? But another important point to note is recovered funds. What happened to recovered funds? Does it go back to the state coffers or it will just make headlines and then whizzle into thin air? Whatever happens, we'll all find out in the near future. Low passenger turnout at airport despite 3 days break and slash in air ticket prices. You see, it has come to the point where people are being very economical. Nigerians are being very economical with how they spend. Apparently, Nigerians would have thought about it. Spending 300,000, 200,000 on a trip. Do I have food in my house? Do I have fuel in my power generating set? How about electricity units? Do I have that? And so they chose to stay back. Maybe the federal government can look into the aviation sector and set a standard that fares don't exceed. Whilst at it, also make the aviation fuel affordable for airlines. Federal government to reintroduce toll gate fares. Recall that Nigeria was operating toll gate fares in the past, and then in 2004, it was stopped. Now that the federal government has decided to start taking fares at different toll gates as listed, has the government put in place those things that were missing before it was stopped? The government has also promised that this will be some sort of employment opportunity for Nigerians. Also, the government has promised that the roads will be motorable before the toll gate fares are implemented. What efforts are the government putting in place to make sure that before it commences, all those loopholes would have been fixed and there would not be corruption in the system? Well, let's see how this goes, what the government will do to implement this and make it effective. Personally, I think the fares are pretty fair. They are not something that Nigerians cannot afford. 150 naira, 200 naira, the maximum is 500 naira. Quite affordable if you ask me. But then, let's watch and see it play out. Federal government of Nigeria introduces citizen delivery tracker. Seriously? A tracker right now? How will this help the common Nigerian? How will tracking the ministries help Nigeria? It's not like Nigerian citizens actually do monitor these people and speak out and these changes are actually effected. So the government is introducing trackers to track ministries and ministers. I'm pretty sure some good amount of money, if not billions, would have been spent on developing this app. The average Nigerian is looking for food to eat. The average Nigerian needs security. The average Nigerians want to have good power supply and good roads. How will the citizens tracker or the citizens delivery tracker solve these problems? We actually don't know the plan of the federal government on this one, but we are hoping that it turns out good. But if you ask my opinion, I would say that fund should have been considered for our security, good roads, and maybe subsidy on the electricity tariff. Maybe that would help Nigerians better. But we'll look at the government, watch from afar, and hope that this new development is actually paying off for Nigerians. Nollywood actor drowns in Asaba. This particular death could have been averted. This should not have happened in the first place. Before going on set to produce a movie, there should be standards. There should be a standard medical team on ground. In this particular case, the actor made a video while on the water in the river without a life jacket. How? Who was a producer that didn't know that this is one of the things that should be made provision for? How do we quantify that there's no medical set, there's no medical team on ground to attend to issues like this? And the annoying part of it is the fact that when he was taken out of the water, Junior Pope had chances of survival. Why was everyone doing videos, wanting to be the first to drop the news on the internet, on social media? What happened to CRP? Cardiopulmonary resuscitation could have helped. Why didn't nobody think about that one? Did you see the crowd there? And no one thought about that. No one's thought crossed that path. Why did they not take him to the hospital immediately? If a CRP was administered, that would sustain him to the hospital when the doctors would attend to him. Chances are he would have survived. But okay, they didn't do all of this. If there was a medical team on ground, they would have attended to him right on the spot. And today, we would still have Junior Pope with us. Unfortunately, we lost another great actor to carelessness. I think the government should consider setting standards for the movie industry. There should be insurance made available so that movies can be produced with standard in mind, not just some poor production plan and then just jump off to set. The guilds also should ensure that before the members go on set to produce, they should have medical team. They should have good security so that they don't end up losing actors to accidents or to death, especially this type that could have been averted.